Hey yo! Welcome to the Dynamic Skill Acquisition Podcast.
Hey guys!
How's it going? So we are here today on this fine sunny afternoon talking about theoretical what is this? Considerations? Oh my god, my handwriting. Hot mess. Thank you. Considerations. And I'm just excited to talk to you guys, talk with you guys, and have this great conversation about who we are, how we coach, what we coach, and talk about incorporating the theories of dynamic skill acquisition theories into our coaching.
Yeah.
So, is it alright if I start first?
Yes, of course.
Oh, thank you. So, my name is Ste-Marie. I am from Alaska. I am a grad student at Ohio University in outdoor education. That's the short version. And I love skiing, and I love skiing so much that I would love to be a professional ski coach sometime in the near future. And so, but I do have a little bit of experience under my belt of teaching kids in a rural village called Shuknak, Alaska. It's called Ski-Ku, and I volunteered, and I was an assistant coach, and I taught kids how to ski.
That's so cool. I don't have any experience yet with actual coaching.
Oh, okay. You're in for a treat.
Yeah.
You're in for a treat. It's really fun because kids are always down to learn, and especially when you get to play ski games or just games in general with whatever sport you play. It's just fun to just have this, teamwork, community, and everything. But yeah, it was cold up there. We were up in the Arctic Circle. It was negative 20 degrees.
Yikes.
And the principal was telling me at this the principal told me, he said, "Hey, this is springtime weather." And I was like, "Springtime weather? Minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit?" Springtime weather? He said yes. It was in March.
That's horrible. You're better than me.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I could not do that.
Yeah. What sports do you guys do?
Okay, so I'm Emma. I am a track and field hopeful coach, and I want to coach high school. Right now, I am in an assistant, Ash, but I'm an assistant coach at Athens High School for their track team.
Oh, you are?
That's so cool.
Yes, it's for co-ed 4930. I think that's the class.
Okay.
You have to get a internship.
Like paperwork stuff.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
4920. So yeah, I'm up there right now, so I'm getting a lot of experience. I really like it. It's kind of solidifying my, want to coach and all that. And what else am I supposed to say? I think that's it. Oh, I'm a junior, and I used to be an education major, but I had to switch out.
That's why I thought you were in my learning community. I'm pretty sure you were.
Oh no,
It's a computer term.
No.
In your freshman year one?
Yes.
Gosh,
I'm pretty sure.
probably.
With Kelly and Annie.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I thought you looked familiar.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I
That's
don't know, maybe I'm just
I
thinking
thought
of
you
stuff.
did too, so I saw your name, and then I went through and looked at the old group me, and you were in there.
Oh,
So
well, that was me.
Yeah.
So we had learning community together. But yeah, so I used to be an education major, early childhood, and then I had to switch to communications and marketing, which is fine with me because I actually really like it. But I'm completing my coaching education minor this semester. And then,
Did you have to switch because you didn't get into?
yeah.
Same.
What'd you switch
I didn't
to?
switch, but
You didn't get
I'm
in
a year behind now.
I was a year behind, and then I switched to middle.
Oh,
And then
okay.
I was 2 years behind. So then I switched out, and now I'm only a semester behind.
Oh, that's fine.
So I'm like, it's
that's
fine.
Good. Yeah.
I like it. Okay, now you.
Okay, my name's Lily. I'm currently a sophomore in early childhood education major, pursuing a minor in coaching. I plan on coaching sideline cheerleading with little to no stunting because when I was a cheerleader, my school did not do stunting or anything like that, so I don't have experience with that part. Sideline cheerleading is basically what you think of when you go to your high school's football or basketball games. Those are the cheerleaders I'm talking about. I would like to do junior high or high school level coaching because I started cheering junior high and cheered all throughout high school. And so the age range would probably be 13 to 18 years old, depending on freshman to senior.
Right.
So yeah.
That's
Very
awesome.
nice.
How do you guys incorporate augmented feedback into your coaching?
Do you want to start?
Sure.
Okay.
So the experience I've had was teaching kids who are very beginner skiers, and but the age range that I would love to teach are middle school and high school. So there'd be a different variety of beginner skiers and intermediate skiers, because there's going to be some people who ski when they're young kids.
Right.
And so I would love to have, and also high school, So I just would love to extend my my skills from little kids to grown-up kids of middle school and high school. And so for cross-country skiing, I think that knowledge of results are really good for tracking overall performance. And if you're pretty dialed on the technique and everything, then knowledge of results is helpful. But if you are just a beginner skier and you're learning the technique and you're, of like body posture, gliding, and just specific movements, then knowledge of performance is the ideal feedback that I like to implement into my coaching, because it is super helpful. It helps the skiers, learn better, and since they're being in the early stages, it just helps with the skill development. And it's really important for the skiers to refine their technique and to envision their goals and what they want to do in their future. And I mean, I want to set up my skiers for success,
right?
And so just starting off slow with the knowledge performance feedback really helps out. And but also another thing is just having a good balance is really helpful too, because if you just kick off knowledge of results, then that doesn't really it just doesn't work out. And so just having that balance is ideal for encouraging progress, and it helps provide an integrated feedback as well that helps performance outcome and technique. And my source is David's et al. 2013. He pointed out that effective feedback is super important in developing skills for skiers with varying ski levels, which is perfect because the use of knowledge performance feedback is super helpful for building fundamental skills that is required in cross-country skiing.
Yeah, I really like your points, and I said actually something kind of very similar, that like knowledge performance is actually one of my most like important skills that I had chosen for this. So I said performance because it's easy to see a result but not learn that performing part and how to like reflect back on that. So like for example, my skill is handoffs, and like when you're doing a handoff, you can have a good result with a bad performance. So it's more important to focus on that performance rather than the result, especially when it comes to something like handoffs. But like results are important too. Like I feel like, but results should be more of a interpersonal, your own reflection. Yeah. And performance is more of a team reflection.
Right. Because it's like, okay, you did the skill, but did you do it good? Like, you can do it, but how did you do it?
I did a handoff, but I almost dropped the baton and I tripped. Yeah. But I finished. Right. So, you know, there's like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Technique is everything.
Yeah.
And that's why I said knowledge performance.
Yeah. I agree. I said in cheerleading I plan to use both, but like saying snap your arms tighter on the high V and knowledge of results, like your jump hit on this specific count. This is a kind of external feedback that accelerates learning when timed correctly and not overused. I said I also plan to bring in some video feedback to help my athletes like link and connect with what they see in the video with how they felt while performing that. So like basically what I just said, like, yeah, you performed it, but did you perform it well? And I want them to be able to see, like, visually what they can do better instead of me just, like, yapping at them and telling them they need to actually see it.
I actually said something similar to that, too. Because, like, handoffs is one thing, but when you start moving into more the field aspect, like long jump, high jump, it's actually that gets me onto my next one, which I'll touch on more.
That's the perfect time.
But still, like it's like very important to have video feedback, especially in something like cheerleading where they can't see themselves. Or,
exactly.
Something like that.
Yeah. I think that's with a lot of sports too.
Yeah.
It's really hard to correct when you don't really see yourself.
Yeah. You just think what you're doing wrong. Even if like a coach could explain it to you and show you, you have to see it for yourself.
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Ash took us to, for one of my other classes, he took us to, like, watch a live diving session.
Oh.
And it was, like, really, like, yeah.
I never got to do that. Okay.
Yeah, it was cool. And they had, like, a video, like, it would record them as they were doing it, and their coach would be like, did you realize what you were doing? And then they look at it, and they're like, oh, crap, no, I didn't realize I was doing that. And then they can go back and fix it, so that's what, I liked that.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Diving. And
I know, it was
like,
really cool.
did it go underwater too?
No, the camera didn't.
Oh, okay. I was like,
no,
that's
just
crazy.
like, yeah, no.
Yeah, but I liked how you talked about video.
Yeah.
That is perfect because it ties into our second theory of
learning.
observational learning. Yes, that's right. Because we learn with everything. We are visual learners, we are auditory learners, we learn by doing as well.
Yeah.
And just so incorporating all of the ways of learning of like peer modeling and video analysis and also group observation is super helpful in observational learning, especially in sport like cross-country skiing. It's a very independent sport, but also team-based as well, because you're on a team and you're trying to get the points, especially when it comes to relays. Yeah. Because we also do relays as well, and they're quite exciting and everything. But I'm a big fan of peer modeling because it helps, because the skiers, my skiers get to help each other. Right. I mean, teach each other and, you know, help each other with the technique. If someone's like a better skier and they're more dialed on their technique, I'll ask the skier who is more advanced and more dialed to, you know, kind of help out the beginner skiers, and I'll ask the beginner skiers to kind of watch the advanced skiers, just watch their technique and everything. And just, you know, I'm all about that teamwork, dreamwork, cohesion, and just having them work together is super ideal. Yeah. And also videos are nice too, because sometimes when I was a beginner skier, I definitely had some pretty sloppy technique. And my coaches told me...
Yes, it's crazy to watch videos back of when I first started cheerleading. I'm like, yikes, how did I even make the team, bro?
I know. Yikes. I was like, let me just ski, Ray. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed.
Why does this keep doing that?
I don't know.
Technologies. I have one quote I would like to just share with you guys. So, from David et al. 2013, he talks about how it's super important to have the environmental and social factors in skill acquisition with observational learning, and it's a crucial part because, you know, we're learning with each other, we're learning together, and we're just learning all the way, especially with technique, because technique is so serious, so important. Big fan.
I really like that you said the peer modeling, because that is actually what I said. Yeah, it's like I feel like that's a very common theme in sports, to watch an older person or someone who's more skilled at it do that skill. So that's actually what I was going to say was peer modeling. Like for observational learning, that and videos was observational learning was my second most important skill that I felt that applied to track, and not only in like handoffs, but like I said, like coming off to the field events, or even in like how to get out of a block, or, you know, just watching another runner run their race and mimicking it actually really does help your athlete like improve the skills that they need to improve on. But like, what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like so right now, like when I'm at Athens High School, I work with a lot of the freshmen, like especially the girls team, because there's a lot more of them than there are the boys. But I work with them on handoffs a lot, and usually I'll pull them over towards the varsity girls, which is a lot of juniors and seniors, and have them watch what they do, mimic it, and then tweak it from there. Which is like I feel is very helpful. And they actually had a JV meet yesterday, and they got first. In their meet.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was nice. And then their handoff was really good.
Do you know Sophia Salazzi? I don't know if there's two high schools in Athens or not. If there's one,
I'm not sure.
I only saw one, but
I know there's Athens High School, and then there's like another one that's close by, but it's not now.
Okay, she might be in the other one if you don't know her, because she's on the cross country team and track team too. I think
maybe, I don't know. I don't know all the kids' names. It's a really big team.
That's
it's like 150 kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a ton of them.
That's a lot of kids.
I don't know all their names.
Oh wow. Turn up.
Okay, so for mine, I said that obviously cheerleading is a fundamentally visual sport. Athletes are constantly watching each other and mirroring each other's movements. As a coach, I plan to model skills, use peer demonstrations, and incorporate video examples from previously successful performances, like in an older teammate or something. According to Bandura's social learning theory of 1977, learning is enhanced when athletes observe a model they relate to and see the behavior rewarded, like we were just talking about. And then Hodges and Ste-Marie 2013 also found that observational learning is most effective when learners actively attend to key features of the skill. So it might be best if I ask my athletes often to focus on one specific aspect while watching, like arm angles or timing, to make their observations more purposeful. Like have a purpose behind what I'm just telling them. Basically, it goes back to don't just yap at them. Like have a reason of why they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, basically all the same things.
That's so correct. That's kind of perfect that you said focus, because that ties into
attentional focus.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm on a roll with this.
This is great. We're on fire. Big fan. Yeah, so speaking of focus, yes, that is true. Focus is super important on making sure, you give out the correct information instead of just blabbing at them, like having that reason of why.
Yeah.
And it really just helps them understand more.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan. We love understanding.
There we go.
Big fan. And so going with focus, with attentional focus, there's two different kinds of focuses that we use, and I'm a big fan of internal and external. They're both really beneficial and helpful for coaching.
I agree
too.
David et al. 2013 suggests that external focus, like think ski gliding or reaching the distance, or reaching a perfect dance move for cheerleading. It can enhance performance. It can really enhance the performance. It's just really awesome. So for skiing, it's a sport that requires a lot of skiers to stay engaged over long distances. Like we do 15Ks, we do 20Ks, we do 10Ks, we do 5K skiing, and it's a lot.
That is a lot.
And and one time there's a 30K, 50K, and it's 25. It's just a lot of kilometers to ski.
Yeah.
And so effective attentional control can really help manage the fatigue and maintain the focus on technique and improve performance. And so since I'll be working with skiers who are 12 years old to 18 years old, they are a bit more prone to distraction. And so training attentional focus can lead to better consistency and enhance skill development. And another quote from David et al. 2013 is that he discusses that controlling attention and focusing on the right cue, just specific cues of cross-country skiing when you dig in your pose and but you lean forward and kind of act like you're falling, and that helps with the momentum of double pulling and just going at it. So those are the kind of cues. Can optimize learning and skill acquisition, and it's super important in environments that require sustained effort, because cross-country skiing is high-key endurance. Oof. Yeah, that was a lot of yapping.
You're fine. I'm trying to pull up my source right now because my laptop's not working.
Oh no,
but
you're good.
it's fine. I'll get in 5 seconds. But I really agree with everything you said. I think coaching is a very same but different in every sport. But you can find those similarities really anywhere.
Yeah.
I think this one's.
And everything, all the theories are here for a reason.
Yes.
Because it really helps us, become a better coach, help coach our athletes to be the best that they can be.
Right, I agree.
Because technique is everything.
Just
giving them the little tips and tricks too to help even refine it. Because there's a quote, I'm going to quote you, Ashley. Practice makes permanent. Remember that in his videos? Practice makes permanent. Because I'm so used to, I grew up hearing practice makes perfect. But there's ways to have the bad techniques. And so practice.
And nothing is perfect. You can't. I don't think you can use that word with coaching, in my opinion.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Because we're always going to have off days. We're always going to have good days.
Right.
It's always a flow of waves.
Yes, exactly.
For attentional focus, I think both are important in their own way. I think internal focus obviously is more inside your own head, but I said, when doing a handoff, it's hard to internally focus on something that is two people, because it's like, you know what I mean, like having to get that baton to somebody, but also like focusing on yourself, like, okay, I need to speed up or slow down, or you know, I need to say stick now or whatever. But so I think external focus would be my more important one, just in the fact that you're trying to communicate with that person in front of you or behind you, and like say I'm that second runner, I'm trying to take a baton, but I run out of the exchange zone. I didn't have good external focus. I wasn't focusing on the runner behind me. I ran out of my exchange zone. So a way to like improve that is like if I'm coming up on an exchange zone, I still don't have a baton, I don't hear the runner, I don't hear stick, like you need to like learn how to like take it back, hold back a little bit, but also at the same time like keeping yourself mentally strong during those times is also challenging, because running is such a mental sport as well as physical. So I chose a quote from the article's called Effects on Mental Fatigue and Attentional Focus on Muscular Endurance Performance. And I chose a quote. I actually use this in one of my discussion boards, but it says, I just really like this article a lot because I think it like talks very well of what I'm trying to highlight. It says mental fatigue shows consistent detrimental effects on physical demanding tasks, including running and muscular endurance tasks. By Fleming Harris Bray from 2024. And then this just talks about that negative effects with internal focus, how like if you're too focused on the inside of your head and not that outside, like what's going on around you could really affect the way you're running in a negative way or a positive way. It just honestly depends on the person. But yeah, I do think external focus would be my more important one for that.
Yeah, I agree. I said that like external focus, like my examples for external focus, like reach towards the stands when you're doing that, instead of being like saying something internal like tighten your core. I feel like saying things like push the floor away from you when you jump or snap your arms to the crowd, like they're focusing on the external, which helps them not overthink like themselves or their body movements too much. Because like sometimes when you say something like tighten your core, it's like, oh, like how do I do that? Am I doing it correctly? Like you're like overthinking it even more than you were in the beginning. So I feel like that's why that's what I said, external is like way more important, because it like takes their mind off of everything else. Like they're like, when you're performing your sport, you're doing something like, you know, that you love. You're not supposed to be overthinking everything, like you know, and nothing has to be perfect, but I just feel like that is way better than internal, like because you like bottle everything up, you're overthinking it, you get like that can mess up your performance even more than something external. So that's what I said.
So true. A team external.
Team external. When I was in high school, I did cheerleading also, and I noticed like a big thing, especially when I was writing this, and like I saw you were doing cheerleading in the discussion post. Internal focus really affected my performance in cheerleading. Because I was like, oh, do I look bad doing this?
Exactly.
Like, I don't think I did that right, and then I would forget my next part because I'm so focused on like, oh, that move didn't come out right.
And it was so hard for me to realize, like, the people watching me cheer don't know the cheers. They don't know how they're supposed to be going.
They don't know how
and I'm like,
to look,
so I'm like, oh crap, if I messed up, like, I'm like overthinking that everyone just saw that I messed up, and like they can totally see it on my face because I'm like, oh, like to myself, and I'm like, they don't care. They don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Like you just have to keep going. You have to forget about it and you keep going. That was the hardest thing for me too.
I feel like the same would apply towards track, like running, like
like
learning about how you look while you're running, like
just go.
And I think that's a very girl thing to do. To be honest, I think that's a very. Because I remember I was running one race, I was running an 800, and my hair tie snapped. So on the first, my hair was just down.
Oh my gosh, I look like crap.
I'm running with my hair down.
And your hair was like all over the place.
Yes, I'm like, it's like, it was longer than this too. It was probably like down to here. And I'm like running with just like my hair out. And I was like,
serious hair.
I was like, I hope everyone knows I didn't choose this.
Everyone knows how bad I look right now.
Oh no. And another thing about like internal focus is that you really start fighting about the small things, and kind of honing in and not really looking at the overall picture, overall goals of what you guys want to do. Same as cross country skiing. Like sometimes I don't know, put my arm out of your way. I was like,
did someone notice that?
Yeah, like, I'm like, oops, don't look at me. Or something like that.
Or like trying to overcorrect yourself.
Also. Like I always have to like, you are your your own biggest critic. Like, no one else cares. No one else is thinking about
So
this. And
true.
like, yeah.
So true. Speaking of critic, you know, what else starts with a C?
Okay.
Contextual.
That one did not flow as well.
It's okay.
Contextual interference. But
This is the one with the 3, right?
yeah,
Like
with
we had.
blocked, serial, and random practice.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if you want me to like go over like what they mean, real
Yeah,
quick.
sure.
You can if you want. Yeah.
So random is when you switch your coaching plans like in between techniques and drills and introduce variety.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And then blocked is focusing technique for just set periods before switching. And it builds technique before adding variety. And then serial is you alternate between various techniques of like an example, double pulling for 10 minutes
Mm-hmm.
straight in a straight line before, you know, skiing
Mhm.
for another 10 minutes. And so
Right.
they're all like kind of different and various.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I like to use the contextual interference is random because, of course, all the ski courses that we go are all over Alaska, all over Anchorage, and they're very different.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of uphills, there's a lot of downhills, there's some icy days too. My freshman year, I totally ate it skiing down this super icy hill, and we had to turn on a corner. A sharp
Ew.
left on the corner, and I just ate it, and I knocked down the flags. I knocked down a few
Oh,
people.
no.
It was a full set of dominoes. It was embarrassing, and because I wasn't prepared, my coach
Right.
didn't have.
Yeah.
We had only blocked practice, so we were just
Mhm.
skiing in straight. We didn't have
Yeah.
any much variety at
Mhm.
all. So just like, if I were the coach, I would definitely add more variety in like random practice. Because
Yes.
because you want to set up your athletes for success. Like
Right.
in the rain, like you want to cheer
I
in the
agree,
rain.
yeah.
Right.
I don't know,
agree.
different weather.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of different aspects of weather and terrain that we want to prepare our athletes for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
set them up for success.
Yes.
I also said random for that
Yes.
same reason. I was like, chose random. Well, I feel like it just makes sense in track, but
Yeah.
like same thing with cheerleading.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what the weather's
Exactly.
gonna be like. You don't know
So true.
like how it's gonna be, if it's gonna be cold that day, if it's
Right.
gonna be really hot and
Mhm.
your muscles are overworking
Yeah.
themselves or just something like that. And I also, like as you were saying that, I honestly just thought of another context that could be like random, but like indoor track versus outdoor track
Yeah.
is
Ooh.
very different.
Yes.
In
So true.
indoor, the curves are on hills,
Mhm.
so like you're running around like a
Yeah.
slanted curve, and they're very tight,
Mhm.
and some people fall and
Ooh,
like
ouch.
because they don't know like how tight those
Yeah.
turns are.
Yeah.
So I was like, so even just something as like learning how to run in a certain place, like
Yeah.
or like in cross country, like how to run up a hill versus down a hill is
Yes.
different, and different terrains and everything you were saying. Honestly, I really said the same things,
Yes.
just running.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is crazy, but different terrains can really do.
Yeah, like how it could change your race or
Yeah,
your cheering experience or something like that.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I said that like early on, like in the practices, we might use a blocked practice, even though I wouldn't prefer it. But like to learn a cheer, you have to keep doing it over and over and
Yeah.
over and over. So that's the only. Well, that's like with learning anything though, really. But like with cheerleading, if you don't know something, you're gonna stand out. Like that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
true.
Even though I was just talking about how the crowd doesn't know the cheer, they don't, but they can see it on your face and they can see everything else. So like you have to know to a certain extent like how to do it correctly, you know?
Yeah.
So but then once athletes are comfortable, I said shift to a random or variable practice. For example, like going from a cheer to a chant or to a jump or tumbling pass, like all out of order.
Mhm.
And Shea and Morgan's 1979 research showed that random practice leads to better long-term learning, even if performance looks a little messier at first. It prepares athletes to adapt quickly and perform under different conditions, which is exactly what they'll need on a live sideline, like we were talking about. You have no idea if it's going to be raining, hot,
Yes.
whatever, you know? So,
That's
yeah.
so true. And the cheerleading is very synchronized too, right?
Yes,
Like, 'cause If
yes.
you don't know what you're doing, you're like,
Yes,
"Hmm."
exactly. And you're looking over at your
Looking
teammates, and then you're
lost.
you're distracted. You look distracted.
Yeah.
You look,
It's
so.
crazy. Yeah. It's,
I know how you said like the audience doesn't know your cheer, but it's very apparent, like watching someone, and they stick out like a sore thumb, and you're watching them like, oh, they don't know what they're doing.
Exactly. Your mates know, and it's like
and then your teammates are like, come on, like we've practiced this so many times.
Exactly.
So I really do agree with the blocked at first and then random, because honestly, I would say the same thing, like learning a technique and then not perfecting it, but you know, reworking it in another like environment is very important.
And it's also helpful to get your cheerleaders and your track runners and the skiers to, you know, have a variety of adaptability as well. According to David's et al., it really helps in effective learning because it has your athletes ready for anything. You know,
anything that is thrown at them.
Exactly. Like, you know how life gives us lemons, we make lemonade. That's it, you know, we get crazy weather, crazy terrain. And so sometimes we get hiccups. Like, do you ever just freeze and forget the technique just randomly?
So I'm like, even mid-cheer, and I'm like, wait, I totally messed that up. Like, sometimes you don't even realize that you messed up. But then when you do, you look bad. Sorry, but you know.
That's me with skiing when I put the pole in front of my leg and I just totally trip over my pole in front of the judges. I'm like, oh, don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Sorry.
I'm embarrassed. Yeah, it's just wild. But speaking of terrain, there's ecological dynamics, our very last theory.
There we go.
Look, just zooming through this. Look at us. It was so effective.
We're at 31 minutes.
Oh, 31. Awesome. Perfect. But on fire. Big fan. So for ecological dynamics, there's linear pedagogy and non-linear pedagogy. And I'm a huge fan of non-linear because I really like giving my athletes an option to think, a choice to think, and to just have some variety and just like, I'd say, like set of varied challenges, like a relay race or sprints in various weather, like uphills and downhills and icy patches too. Like they gotta like be on top of everything. Because ice is not fun, and it's just helpful because it helps tailor to the skier's weaknesses and strengths, and just hone on to that, and it just keeps them, you know, on top of their game with everything. And Davis et al. Emphasizes that ecological dynamics help skiers develop adaptable skills for real world challenges. And of course, you know us, we really want to set our athletes for success. And I like linear too, because especially for beginners and you want them to like know how to do something, then of course linear works because they don't know what they're doing. And it helps, you know, get that technique in their brain. But once they get the hang of it, then non-linear is more ideal.
So for mine, for track, I think it honestly depends on what skill you're trying to learn, whether it's linear or non-linear for the athletes. I feel like it all, like the skill, the type of day you want to run, like all that. So I would say linear for days like speed days. Like I want to do a speed workout with my athletes, I'm going to do 200 repeats and you're not going to have a say in it. That's true. I'm sorry, but it's helping you. But on other days where it's like, okay, we're going to do 200 repeats, or we're going to do 100, 150, 200 meters, and then 200, 150, 100. But instead of doing maybe that 150, I'll give them an option, that non-linear, and I'll give them an option to skip a 150 and just do, or go up to a 300 and not do any of those, like, those laterals. So something like that. But, like, in the sense that, like, most athletes in track have multiple sports which all require, like, well, if I'm doing handoffs, I also have to go do long jump, and then after that I have to go do high jump, so I can't really go with the whole workout because I need to be in all these different stations. So I'd also give them that non-linear type of practice or dynamics, and be like, give them an option to, you know, cut their run short so they could practice on those specific skills, or let them choose what skill they wanted to practice that day to finish the workout, or just something along those lines, and still let them feel like they have a voice and a say in their own learning process. Because like I know when I was in track, like in high school, I loved when the coaches listened to me. I loved having a say in things. I felt like powerful, but in the sense that I'm helping myself and I know it, and what I'm applying to myself is benefiting me.
Yeah, I agree. I said that non-linear because it's based on the understanding that skill development is not a one-size-fits-all process, and that athletes learn in different ways, and movement emerges through their interaction with the environment, the task, and their own different capabilities. So non-linear pedagogy encourages exploration, adaptation, and contextual learning. In cheerleading, this flexibility, I believe, is critical because athletes must perform precise movements in dynamic, noisy, and often unpredictable game environments, like we were saying previously. For example, like when developing the high V arm motion, one session may involve athletes practicing their high V formations with music playing, while another might focus on performing the same skill while transitioning between different cheers. I said this aligns with the idea of representative learning design, which is where practice conditions mirror performance conditions so that athletes can develop decision-making skills alongside their motor execution. So yeah. I said NLP is setting up athletes for success to have to because they have to learn from their own mistakes and make their own mistakes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, that's so true.
That's what I said.
They are their person.
Yeah, right.
And it's good to treat them like that.
And not everyone's good. Not every teammate's gonna make the same mistake you just made. So like it's all different.
Why focus on that?
Right.
When it's only
Exactly.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Learning from the mistakes and moving forward.
Yes.
Rather than just being like, oh.
Yeah.
Getting that tunnel mindset.
Right. Yes.
Of despair. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I learned so much from you guys.
Me too. I kind of like
This
this.
is fun. I'm
Yeah.
a fan. Thanks, Dr. Ash. This is awesome. Meeting some cool people.
Yeah.
I mean,
Learning different sports.
Yes, exactly.
learning like kind of the behind the scenes too, because I've
Yeah.
seen cheerleading at football games in high school, and I had a friend who was a cheerleader, and I've always wanted to fly.
Yeah.
But my mom said no, it's dangerous. But it just seems so fun to like be flipped in the air.
Yeah.
Do some cool tricks and everything. And the track was pretty cool too. Hardcore. I did the 400 and 800, and I just was a full jellyfish towards the end. It was insane. And so just like kind of, it's really cool learning about the behind the scenes and the techniques and like the coaching scenarios. Like how you guys do it.
Yeah.
The takeaways that I got from you guys is I wrote them down because I was just like, it's just.
Me too.
That's okay. I'm sure you can remember.
Yeah, I'll think of
We
something.
got this.
So take it back, hold it back. That's something really cool that I really like, because sometimes we get excited, especially being a skier. It's easy to see the finish line, about 100 meters, 1,000 meters away, and you just want to book and cook. And sometimes when you book and cook, you have a ski pole go in front of your leg.
Yeah.
And you end up tripping and making a fool out of yourself, especially when you trip other skiers. And that's when it gets real bad. And so take it back, hold it back. Stay mentally strong is also like have to get like you're so close to the end, but also remember the technique. And so just staying like stay focused, which I like.
Yeah.
Your way of saying stay focused. And then I liked what you said about one size. It doesn't fit. It's not ideal. The one size fits all.
Yeah.
Because everybody comes from different backgrounds.
Right.
Everybody's different shapes as well, and so everybody's just different.
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
And so it's just really cool how you said that. Like sometimes I get into a tunnel mindset when I was an athlete, and I was like, oh, I'm bad at this. Everybody's bad at this. Or like, oh, why is everybody so good? I don't know. It's just different. But we're all different people who have different backgrounds, and so I really liked what you said. And the precise movements. I can't believe precise movements of like listening to the music, chanting, and doing the dance moves. Like what? That's a lot of multitasking in the brain. That's a lot of focus right there. You have to focus on a lot of things. That's amazing.
Yeah.
For my takeaways from this, I want to say like overall, I like how we kind of thought the same way.
I agree.
For
That's
all
what
of
I was
our,
gonna say too.
All of our skills.
Hopefully
and
that counts, Ash.
I
That's
hope
what
it
I was gonna
counts.
say.
I also liked the practice makes permanent, even though it's
Yes.
from Ash. But I like that you brought it up because that's I never I've heard him say it before, but like I wouldn't have thought to put it to the skill. You know what I mean? And like learning it, like practice does make permanent, not perfect, and everyone's different and learns their own ways.
Yeah.
So true.
And and cheerleading,
And I also like how you, Lume, mentioned like when athletes like tunnel vision, like on themselves, and you like what I mentioned too, it kind of goes along with like you are your biggest critic. Like you have to, and you have to hold yourself accountable, but to a certain extent, because you're not going to be perfect. Nothing is going to be perfect.
So true.
So
it's always a flow.
Yes.
It's always an ebb and flow type
right.
of
Yeah.
situation.
You never know what's going to happen with anything, your environment, whatever, anything.
So
true.
We are always in the unknown, you guys.
Yes.
Yay. Well, thank you guys for, this wonderful podcast of theoretical considerations and coaching.
Yeah.
I think we rocked it. Pound cake? Boot pound cake?
Boo.
Yeah. Woo! Girl power.
We got this.
Thanks for watching.
Bye, Ash.
See ya.